Hi, good evening everybody. In this video, who are the top 10 tough guys in Buffalo Sabres history? Coming up. Okay folks, now what I've done for this video, and the shout out goes to Larry Dingy. And Larry, I hope I'm saying your name right, buddy. That's how I see it. Larry Dingy asked me to do a top 5. Larry, I'm going to do a top 10, okay? So bonus 5. I had to, once I got into making this video and getting it outlined, I had to go with 10. So we're going to go with 10 for this one. And what I've done, okay, in this video is the player will be here, career fights, career Sabres fights, games played, and total penalty minutes for their career. Now, to qualify for this list, they have to have 30 fights in their career, okay? Just so you know, all these players had 30 fights and up in their career. Let's get started. Now, number 10, it's on a personal note, okay? He comes in at number 10. I knew this guy in real life back in the 80s. Haven't seen him forever. And I had met him from a friend through another friend when he was, I believe, being drafted by Winnipeg at the time. And he wound up being eventually a Buffalo Sabre and a Buffalo Sabre tough guy. So he is from my area. Like, I don't know if he's still living here anymore. But I will start with the stats and get those in there for you. Now, he had 152 career fights, okay? For the Sabres, he had, here, let me get it. Make sure I get this right. You know how it is with me, guys, once I start doing this. Yep, here we go. I should have done, sorry about that, I should have done maybe the top 5. For the Sabres, he had 35 career fights. And in 134 games, he had 557 penalty minutes. So let me just get this up a little higher. And there we go. We're started. And number 10 comes in. Some of you might know him, some of you might not. I knew he was going to make the NHL when he went, because he was crazy. Gordie Donnelly. My God, that's awful how I wrote it. Well, folks, I'm just going to, no, it's going to bug me. Hold on, guys, sorry. Once I get the first 2 or 3 down, then it gets a little easier. There we go. All right, we'll leave it like that. All right, so Gordie Donnelly comes in at number 10. Number 9, he had, and I'm going in the order, guys, of the fights, okay? I'm working my way up with the fights in this list. It doesn't mean these are my personal picks for 1 to 10. I'm just going in that order. So, number 9, he had 36 fights. He played in 167 games. And he had 518 penalty minutes. Anybody want to take a guess? Let me see if this looks okay, guys. Looks like crap, but I'll leave it for now. I'm just going to go with what I know works. Coming in at number 9, who I loved in the 80s also. I love this guy. I'll never forget when he dropped Miller at the face-off, because Miller, Boston's Miller, the game before, put a cross-check right in one of our players' faces. I don't remember who. And the next game, we had him out there, and before they dropped the puck, Kevin McGuire dropped his gloves and just started wailing on him. I'll never forget it. I was so happy. You would have thought he played more than 167 games, eh, Kevin McGuire? God, it's funny. Some of these guys, I remember them as clear as day. And if you would have told me Kevin McGuire only played that amount of time in Buffalo, wow. Okay, next one had 95 career fights. He had, we're moving up the list here. He had 63 as a Buffalo Sabre. And I screwed up again, there we go. He played 664 games, and he had 1,448 penalty minutes. You guys have any guesses? Comes from another era of tough-nosed hockey in Buffalo. Probably the most gifted offensive guy in this whole list. There's a hint for you. Mike Foligno comes in at number 8 with 63 fights and 1,448 penalty minutes in 664 games. But again, I'm going by fights, guys. That's how this is going up the ladder, okay? You guys will have your favorites, I'm sure. I agree 100% with the top 3, though. So, as we go along, number 7, who was one of the big fighters once upon a time for the Sabres. He had 66 fights in 577 games and 1,392 penalty minutes. 66 career fights for the Sabres, but 84 career fights overall. Coming in at number 7, who I used to email because I was buying things in Buffalo, and he was part of who you had to go through, was Larry Playfair. My buddies used to hate this guy. I swear to God, they used to hate him, man, back in the 80s. Hated Larry Playfair. But Larry Playfair was a very tough blue liner. He didn't take any crap from anybody. So that's who comes in at number 7. Now, number 6, which will start getting easier and easier as we go up here, because he had 68 fights in 608 games for 1,128 penalty minutes. Any guesses? I'll give you a hint. He played forward and he played defense. There, that gave it away, right? Lindy comes in at number 6. Lindy was tough customer. You better believe it. Ask Billy Smith. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Here we go. Number 5. Number 5 had 153 career fights. He had also 68, like Lindy. 68 career fights for the Sabres. And he played 425 games, and he had 1,323 penalty minutes. I'll give you a hint. Mayday, Mayday. There you go. Brad May comes in at number 5. Yes, May was a tough customer. He's remembered probably for RJ's biggest call, right? But Brad May was really a tough guy more than anything. He really was. He was a tough customer. All right, number 4. Now we're getting to the real characters, so to say. he had 80 career fights, and he had 71 as a Sabre. And can I let that go? I'm going to put it a bit higher. Sorry, guys. Last mistake. I'll just go a little higher here. He had 71 career fights as a Sabre and 200 games even. And let me check his penalty minutes. He had in 200 games, he had 557 penalty minutes. Any guesses? It's a little more in this era, this guy. The Senators might know about him. There's a hint for you. Andrew Peters comes in at number 4 with 71 career fights as a Sabre. So we started off with Gordy, and now we're up to, or as you guys call him, Gord. I call him Gordy because that's how we know him out here. Okay, number 3 had 192 career fights, and he had 82 of them as a Sabre. Where are we? There we are. And 1,248 career penalty minutes. I'm sure you guys are starting to pick them off by now, but you're not going to guess number 2. I forgot about number 2 till I researched. I said, oh my God, I used to love this guy. Loved him. My buddies, when I show you number 2, because I'm pretty sure you have an idea who number 1 is, but when I show you number 2, you're not, some of you might not remember him. Some of you fans from the 80s have forgotten about him. I guarantee it. But I love this guy. Oh my God. All my Habs friends hated this guy's guts. They hated him. Hated him. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel to say. All right. And number 3, who I'm still pissed at game number 2 in Washington in the 1998 Eastern Conference Final before the overtime, him mocking the fans, and it motivated them to get back in the series. I still get upset when I think of that. That probably gives it away, but Matthew Barnaby comes in at number 3. Boy, we had some real nuts on our team, eh? God, man. Oh, God. Oh, this guy. I love this guy. Oh, my God. I forgot about him. Jeez. Can't believe I forgot about this guy. I couldn't believe it. All right. He had 133 career fights. Folks, look at the games. In 225 games, he had 133 career fights. All right, 133 fights. As a Buffalo Sabre, he has the second most in 225 career games with 85 fights for Buffalo and 200 well, that's wrong, 133 and 225. My bad. No. That's career fights, but that's career games played as a Sabre, not his entire career. That's my mistake. I'm wrong about that. But he had 85 fights and 225 games as a Buffalo Sabre. This guy was crazy. All right, where are you? And he had played 225 games, and in 225 games, he had 890 penalty minutes. Oh my God, I miss these guys. Get them back. Please get all these guys out of retirement. Mike Phelan, if you're watching this, I'll give you a hint. His first name is Mike. There you go. That's your hint. Tell me if you got it, okay, after? And some of you guys in the 80s, let me know if you guys that watched the Sabres in the 80s, if you got this or not. Mike Hartman. You remember Mike Hartman, how crazy this guy was? Oh, jeez. This guy, I swear, he might have been as nuts as Rob Ray. And I guess we all know who's number 1, so let's put him in right away. Rob Ray's the king, no doubt there. Okay, Rob Ray had 237 career fights, okay? Jesus God. And get this, for the Sabres, he had 200 and 35 of those 237. Now, unless I missed my guess, he did have, I think he had one with, did he have one with Peters? I don't know. I'd have to look back. I know he had 2 fights. I'm sure he had one against the Sabres. I'm positive. Rob Ray's crazy. And Rob Ray's penalty minutes, folks, okay, is 3,189 in 889 games. So if you do the math, you divide this by 11, it's almost 300 a year average. Do the math. Crazy. But I forgot about Mike Hartman. I was giggling as I finished this list. It was a pleasant surprise when I ran into his name. I was like, oh my God, Mike Hartman, man. Jeez. Crazy, right? This guy was nuts. Ugh. I get pumped when I see these names, guys. I do. I can't help it. I'm a little kid when I see this stuff. I love looking back at our history and stuff and see that. Show me anybody that had 2 crazies like this at the top of their list. Philadelphia can put a claim to fame for Dave Schultz, but if you look at Dave Schultz's career fighting, it really wasn't big except for a few years. Rob Ray was his whole career. He had, how many did he, I got to tell you guys a stat I wanted to point out. Rob Ray, in his career, here's a crazy statistic. In 237 fights, fought 134 different players. All right, folks, I got to stop. I want to make another video. It kills me. I won't stop laughing. I got to let this go. All right, folks, look, I'll see you in the next video. Till then.